Did you know that there's a secret society of collectors trading thousands of dollars of goods every single day in Disneyland?
And you don't even know about it.
Hello everybody, welcome to RTD Adventures. My name is Brian.
And I'm Jacob.
And we are talking about one of the most fun activities in Disneyland that a lot of people are not really even aware about. We're talking, of course, about pin trading. And this is something that's actually been around since the turn of the millennium. And it started out with a small collection that was released at the end of 1999, and it's just grown since then. There are tens of thousands of different Disney pins available to collect. So any type of Disney IP that you're interested in, you're bound to be able to find something to collect.
So there are 3 rules that you need to live by when trading in the Disney parks. Rule number 1, you must trade officially licensed Disney pins with other officially licensed Disney pins.
This includes things like things from Loungefly. There's a few other brands that work with Disney, but they are officially licensed and tradable in the parks.
Rule number 2, if you are trading a pin with a cast member, you must keep the back of the pin. That keeps it nice and safe and not stabbing into your skin.
Now, all pins come with a Mickey-shaped rubberized back on them, but there are special kinds of backs you can get that lock and hold your pins in place a little bit better.
And rule number 3, when trading with a cast member, you can only trade with that cast member up to 2 times per day, or that's 2 pins.
All right, so when you're in the parks, you can trade with anybody that is wearing Disney pins. And this is one of the really fun things that I love about pin trading. Mm-hmm. It helps you build community with people, right? Yeah. I love meeting new people in Disney, and seeing other people wearing these lanyards is a great way to just start a conversation. Now, other guests are not required to trade with you, but if you see something you like and you've got something that somebody else likes, you are more than welcome to trade with them. The only rule is you cannot purchase pins off of anybody else. Okay, you can only purchase pins from Disney stores, but you can trade with anybody else in the parks as long as they're willing.
Hey Brian.
Jacob?
I like this pin right here. Do you want to trade for this pin right here?
These are mine.
And when it comes to pin trading, you can trade with cast members. Now, if they have a lanyard on them that has pins on it, or if they have a pouch on their side, they have to trade with you, and that's really cool. However, there's a tidbit with that where if they have a pin that you already have, you can't obviously trade for that one. But it's really cool. They can't refuse you. You can also ask within the stores that you go in to buy things if they have a secret pin board. Now, sometimes those are out for display that you can trade for something you might have on your lanyard for something that's on the board, but it can't already be on the board, your pin. But some of them are hiding. So what I mean by that is the cast member may have it actually down behind the desk, and all you have to ask is, can I please see a pin board if you have one? And they will pull it up and you can see what they've got.
And there's lots of different unique types of pin boards as well. Mm-hmm. So each store typically will have a pin board that's available to you. Some of them are themed after whatever store you're in, but there's a few locations that actually have hidden pins, which means you can't see what you're trading for. You just have to give something up, and then you get whatever they have in that hidden board. Or even there's some really cool boards that have lots of little boxes in them, and you get to choose a couple boxes that are, you obviously can't see the pins in them, but then you get to choose out of the 2 pins that are presented which ones you want to trade for. So there's a lot of really fun, unique ways to pin trade with cast members as well. Okay, so let's say you want to start doing some pin trading. Where do you start? Okay, when I first found out about pin trading, it was a little bit overwhelming because there's so much to choose from. So let's break it down into a couple easy things that you need to get started. First of all, you're going to need to get yourself some pins and a lanyard.
Brian, may I have a lanyard?
Well, you know what? I have an extra.
Ooh,
right here.
Thank you. Am I pin trading now?
Well, Jacob has got his lanyard, but he doesn't have any pins to trade. That's one of the important things here. You need to have pins in order to trade for pins.
Now, Brian, where do I get pins?
So we're going to be looking for shops in Disneyland that actually sell these pins. This is one of the ways you can do it, at least. There's lots of shops on Main Street, lots of other gift shops in the different lands, but in particular, the Frontier Mercantile in Frontierland, they've got lots of pins. In fact, that's probably the best place to look if you're getting started. They've got starter packs that you can check out there. They've got lots of individual pins that are available to buy and sell. But one of the ways that I recommend is actually going on to like a Facebook pin trading group, and they offer used pins that you know are authentic, right? You got to be careful about eBay and Amazon because there's lots of fakes that are sold on there. But if you want to get some authentic pins, go to a pin trading group on Facebook, and you can get yourself a kit like this, right? These are just lots of cheap, authentic pins that, some people might like these, but I think that these are just easy ones to get a hold of that I don't really want to hold on to. I don't mind trading them away. So if you want to trade pins, make sure you get some that you're not too attached to, so you don't mind actually trading them away for others.
Thank you. Okay, Brian, I have pins now. How do I know I'm getting the right pins, though?
Here's the fun thing. There's no such thing as the right or wrong pins. It's all a matter of your personal taste.
Yes.
So for me, I love Oswald. Okay, as you can see from my small Oswald collection here, I can't fit all my pins on, but I picked out a few pins that I wanted to show off. And you can just trade for the pins that you are interested in. So there are so many pins out there, you couldn't possibly collect all of them. All right. Pick a couple of your favorite IPs. So let's say for me, I love Oswald, I love Emperor's New Groove, and a little bit of Avengers and Star Wars. Those are mainly the things that I'm trading for. Okay. Now, for Jacob, you might like some other things.
Yes.
Yeah.
I happen to have a collection here. This might be too big for the camera. However, we'll find out. This is just a part of it. This isn't all of it. Now, you can get your own cork board somewhere if you want. If you want to like collect them at home, things that you know you'll never trade. So that's kind of what I put on this board here. Are there pins that I would never trade away? They're kind of specialty pins, so they did cost a little bit more when you go in to buy these individually. However, it's cool because you can add these to your collection and they're yours forever, and you know you won't trade them. But that's just part of the game. That's the one thing I really like about that, is you collect the stuff that you like and nobody can tell you what you like.
Well, that's the main idea, is just to pick a couple things that you're interested in and stick to that when it comes to collecting, because again, there are so many different pins.
So many.
If you try to pick too many different things to collect, you're going to get overwhelmed.
Yeah.
So just pick a couple, stick to that, and you'll have a lot more fun when you're hunting for those pins that you like, especially. When you find something that you're after, it just feels that much better.
Yes, it does.
Okay, so let's talk about some of the different types of pins there are to look for. One of the things that people like to try and collect are pins with hidden Mickeys.
Yeah.
Now, these are not necessarily pins that you can just buy in an open pack and see what you're getting. Hidden Mickeys are only available through trading with cast members, or if you're buying blind packs. That means you buy a package and you don't actually know what's inside. It could be a few different random pins, but that's how you get pins that are hidden Mickeys.
Now, some pins, like this one here, thrown up on the screen, are a little more signature, is what I would call them. They have like price levels. When you're going into like the trading company, the Mercantile down in Frontier, you'll see that there's a bunch on the wall, and they'll say pink, silver. It just kind of has to do with how much they cost, and that also depends on kind of how fancy they are. Do they move? How big are they? Are they limited edition? Now, those are just things to consider. Just know that these ones are a little more pricey when you're trading, and these are usually the ones that you don't want to trade to a cast member. You want to stick to the ones that the cast members already have, or those packs that you've just opened that you know are kind of like throwaway pins that you're going to be not throwing away, but trading away.
And then you have things like limited release and limited edition. So these are pins that are only released in set quantities, right? Limited release might be available for a certain amount of time. Limited edition, they might only make 500 or 1,000 of the pins. These ones are going to be more expensive, but they are nicer quality pins. They're a little bit fancier. And these are really the ones to look out for, especially if you're looking for something to kind of add to your collection for a specific set. And if you're looking for a starter pack in the parks, try to find the starter packs that include more pins for the price. So usually the pins that come in sets of like 7, they're going to be smaller pins, but it doesn't matter what size the pin is. You can still trade it for whatever you want. So when you're fighting those starter packs, get the most bang for your buck, right? You're going to be trading these away anyway, so just get as many as you can for trading.
And new pins are released every Thursday. Now just keep an eye out for that in Frontierland. That's probably the best place to go. That's where you'll see most of the pins in that trading company there. They do sell out really quickly, so just make sure you get there and make sure you get the one you want.
So if you know that there's a limited pin coming out, maybe consider heading there first thing in the morning. Some of the pins that are limited might last for quite a while, but some of them may sell it right away. You just never know. So if it's something you really want, make sure it's a priority when you show up to the park.
All right, now pin trading is already kind of secret enough, like until just now. Now that you know about it, you're gonna be seeing it everywhere. But there's a little tiny secret that I want to tell you about. So 5 p.m. every day in the Grand California Hotel, that out in the lobby area, they have the cast members lined up, and they have pin boards that they'll be holding, and they're just waiting for you to come by and trade away the ones that you don't want for the things you do. Now, there's a lot of them, and you have to do respect. There might be, a crowd building just because around this time, people that do pin trade do know about this. However, we did not at one point when we went there. We just came around the corner and happened to see people holding these pin boards, and it's really cool because it's a lot easier for you to find the pin that you're looking for when it comes to trading within Disneyland. So that's just an option for you just to get what you want.
And if you're interested in checking out some of the professional pin traders, check out the benches in Frontierland out in front of the pin trading store. So there's actually a lot of people that gather around there every day, and they've got big books full of pins. Lots of really rare stuff that you're not going to see very often. And this is a great way just to kind of see what's out there. Right? They may be a little bit more hesitant to trade some of those nicer pins away, but it's still just a fun experience to talk to those people. And they've got a lot of really cool advice you can get about pin trading.
We're talking thousands of dollars worth of pins in these things. It's just really cool to see. And some of these pins are not just limited edition or limited release. Some of these might be old. Like you said, this started in the 90s. So you could have some stuff, that people have that has been there for a long time that they're definitely not going to trade away, but they'll be more than happy to show you.
Here's a common question is how much are pins and how much should you budget for pins? Well, this is kind of something you really got to take a look at beforehand because pins can vary pretty drastically in price. Now, most single pins on average are going to be around $10 to $20. Okay, there are multiple pin packs you can get where there's more than one, and those can go for a little bit more expensive. You can get packs of up to 7 if you're wanting some of the starter packs. There's limited pins that can go $20 up to well over $100 in some cases. There's just such a variety that it's kind of hard to get an idea of what each individual pin is going to be. So what you need to do is just set a budget before you go. Think about how much you're willing to spend on pins before you take your vacation. Don't just buy a pin every time you see something you like because trust me, I'm going to tell you from experience, you start spending like crazy and you don't even realize until the trip's over how much you've actually spent on your pins. So set a budget beforehand, realize how much you're going to be spending, and that's going to help you save overall in the process of your trip.
And speaking of budgeting, go ahead and tap your screen right now and that will take you through the link to another video that we've made about budgeting in Disneyland. And we appreciate you all for tuning in, and as always, thanks for watching.